out front, pressured by Dennis Johnson. Michael in the drive, in from the right. Hesitation move, to the hoop for the right. Scoop shot, good on the reverse.
Michael! Take the ball as only Michael Jordan can do.
Michael Jordan at his best. There's very few people on this planet that can do this.
He's just simply amazing.
If I could be like Mike.
The newest pair of Air Jordans.
Now, they went on sale around midnight last night, but not everybody started selling them. That's the need. Look at that. That's real. One of the guys who's got one of the first pairs. What's your name, sir?
Curtis Solomon. I'm a shoe connoisseur. I've been getting shoes.
A frenzy going on in the city right now. A special sneaker.
Adidas Yeezy 350 V.
Yeezy.
Please, I'm a huge fan, man. I came from the USA.
Is it Off-White? Is that what it is? Yeah.
Off-White Air Jordan 4s.
Honey clip. Easy.
Supreme Louis Vuitton, too much, like 10,000.
1,200 maybe for.
The reason why the retail was 2,000.
Reseller is someone who goes down there, buys more than one to specifically sell for double or whatever.
They can't afford to get the next release because they have 2.2K at least invested into Yeezys.
Amazing week to resell.
Like most of these kids, they're 12. Even the ones who say they're flipping, like if you talk to them, they really don't know what they're doing. They don't know what stuff's worth. They're just throwing money at things and hoping it comes back.
So you're like a sneaker reseller.
I don't like that word. He's a sneaker reseller.
My name and I'm a reseller. This year I'll do about 350,000 in sales. I'm 20 years old. So it started when I was younger. I just saw people trying to get these shoes, and then they just told me that afterwards they're selling for a couple $100. So just interested me right away back in middle school, and got in there, got involved, and ever since then, just kept going. That probably happened like junior or senior year of high school. So that was about like 4 or 5 years ago. That's when I started getting money and started seeing the real profit from it. Before, I was just kind of doing it on the side just for fun as a hobby because I like sneakers. And junior and senior year just really took off from there, and figured out I could really make some money from that. I don't know about a sneaker necessarily, but the one thing that always sticks in my mind was there's a Supreme Swarovski BOGO release. I was able to grab 2 hoodies for retail. Retail was $650, so I paid $1,300 for both, and I sold both to the same person for $4 grand. There's one dude who I did a lot of business with in the past. He would pay me when my shoes got delivered, and he'd check them, and he never sent like the full amount of money. So it was a couple $1,000s. It was about like 4 or 5 grand. Yeah. Over time, for me and the people that know me, I'm not the biggest sneaker collector. I like sneakers, but I'd rather make money off of them. But one of them is Off-White Jordan 1 Chicago's. Just that first Jordan 1. I love Jordan 1s, and then just that first Off-White for him. Definitely want something in my collection. I mean, he's got a deal definitely more with like customers in that aspect, and because I sell mostly on StockX and Go in bulk buyers, so repeat customers, I don't really have to deal with kind of that customer service. The difference, there's not too much of a difference, because he'll probably do most of the same stuff. I probably do more bulk than him, or than most brick and mortar kind of stores. I can't really think of a difference.
Yo, come on.
If you can state your name and your relationship with sneakers.
Yeah. Name is Roberto Fontanez. I'm the owner of 9 Out of 10 Condition Sneaker Boutique, located here in Fed Hill in Baltimore. Also the owner of Beaters to Grails Sneaker Laundry, and that location is in Pigtown, also in Baltimore, on Washington Boulevard.
What was the first time a sneaker meant something to you, and if so, what shoe?
For me, as far as I can remember, one of the first ones that actually like really meant something to me is probably going to be Deion Sanders Air Turfs. The reason why is because it was like 94 when it first came out, and I really wanted this sneaker. I seen it in a magazine and everything, and for me growing up, my mom and my dad, they both worked 2 jobs. So of course, you know, we struggles and everything. Thank you, mom and dad, for everything they've done, you know, did for me and my sisters. But at that time, growing up, we only got 1 sneaker a year, and it was to last us the whole entire year. Well, that year, we'll either get it like at the beginning of school or on our birthday for a birthday present or something like that. Anyways, that year, I already had gotten my sneaker, and I begged my mom, begged her to death to get me this shoe because I really wanted it. And eventually, finally, she said okay. So we actually walked from my house to the sneaker store, many blocks, to go get it. And yeah, once I got it, I mean, it meant everything to me. I took care of it. I cleaned it every day. It was just that sneaker, like, that I was just stunting in school. I was just like the happiest freaking kid in the world. So for me, it didn't really, it wasn't really about money until way later. Of course, that was back in 1994. In 1999, I started working for Finish Line. And that was a way of making money as far as getting a paycheck, you know what I'm saying? But I still wasn't like doing what I'm doing now as far as like reselling sneakers and stuff like that. Again, it was just for the culture. I love sneakers. I wanted to be around them, and the best way to do that was get a job at a sneaker store, of course. So in '99, that began my whole obsession of like being able to buy my own sneakers and all that stuff. Back then, it was the culture was definitely different from what it is today. So like back then, when you buy sneakers, it was for the toe, you know, or if you bought a second pair, it was for the trade for later on, you know, the whole concept of, you know, rock one, stock one, just in case either one, you're gonna fuck up your one pair so you have another one to wear later, or you're gonna use that for trade for something else for one of your friends and stuff like that. So now it's completely different, of course, you know, but for me, not obsession, but the way of making money out of it didn't come till way later. Push forward to 2013 when I started reselling sneakers as far as like little baby shoes that I had a collection of. I started selling them on Instagram. It did well, so then I was honestly looking for a way out of Finish Line by that time, and that was kind of like the jump that I needed because it was doing well online. And then after that, I just said, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and, you know, open up my own store. And sure enough, you know, got a plan together, bought sneakers like a whole year in advance, trying to get to like 200 pairs to open up my shop, and finally did it, and then started finding a place for it. And then in 2016 is when it became a reality, opened up the shop in Towson. So for me, it wasn't until 2016 that I really got into the whole thing of like reselling sneakers, having my own store, and yeah, so basically it was 2016 when all that happened.
Yeah, you kind of already answered this one, but from reselling sneakers like those baby shoes to now running your store in its 3rd location and on like 2 sneaker laundry shops, how does this all come to fruition? Like,
honestly, like, so for me, it was more like I'm deep.
What was that pushing factor that was just like, I have to do this?
It was the fact that I just did not want to work for someone anymore. I was working for Finish Line, like I said, from 99 to 2006. I took a break from 2006 to 2011 when I started moving around the country with my ex-wife. She was military. And in 2011, when we moved here to Baltimore, that's when I started working for Finish Line again. So in 2011 to 2016, I was a store manager trainer, about to become a district sales manager. So I was training for that. Now for that part of it, the corporate level part of it, it just wasn't for me. It wasn't about the culture anymore, and that's the reason why I got into it, honestly. It was more like they didn't know what was going on. I didn't see eye to eye. So for me, I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and open up my own store. Let me create a plan to do so. So then, like I said, I created a plan. Again, I loved working for Finish Line. I loved working for them. It was a great company to help me out to become the business owner I am today. But I just didn't want to do it for them anymore. I wanted to do it for myself. Something that for my family, something I could leave to my kids, something that I know for a fact that I could come into my own store and be happy every day. There's not a day that I walk in here that I'm not happy. You know, when I worked for Finish Line, those days like, damn, I gotta go to work. Fuck, okay, let me get out of bed and go. You know, that has never happened since I opened up my store. This is a dream job to me. You know, it's not even a job, honestly. You know, it's just, it's life. You know, it is what it is.
Are there any challenges owning a brick and mortar shop versus like the normal, not even the normal, like the new norm, pretty much like people are just shipping off shoes on StockX and all that kind of stuff, and they're just handing off sneakers?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, so people that do that, like you just said, it's definitely beneficial for them because they don't have the bills as far as like rent, lights, and all that stuff, or employees that they got to take care of. Me, myself, I have to take care of all those things. So of course, how should I say this? There's times when people come to the shop, because everybody knows we buy, sell, and trade here. So when someone's selling me something and I have to pay a certain amount for it to go ahead and resell it, I have to be, vigilant about that, because I have to take into factor my rent, my employees, the lights, all that stuff that comes into factor. These people that are selling it out of their home and StockX, they don't have to do all that. So of course, when they see that margin of profit that they're getting versus if they will come to me and sell it to me, they understand I could just do this myself, which again, you can. It's just, we're here for like the easy flip. We're here for people that don't want to wait a month to get a cash out from somebody online like StockX or Go, stuff like that. We're here for those type of people. Not everybody sells to us. When they come in, give them a price, sometimes they say no, and I understand it. But we're not here for everyone. We're here just for certain people that just want to do things, like to easy flips, like I said. Oh yeah, I mean, everybody thinks I'm a millionaire. Everybody thinks that I'm like big top shit, and it gets overwhelming sometimes because it really isn't like that. It's a lot of hard work. There's a lot of stuff that comes into factor when owning your own business. I've lost friends, I've lost family members because it doesn't click in their head of what it really takes to own a business. And I wish it didn't have to come to that, but unfortunately it did. But I know now they weren't real true friends. They weren't really true family members, because again, if they would just sit down and crunch numbers and take into factor what I actually do, it wouldn't even have to come to that. But it definitely gets frustrating when people are like, oh my gosh, he's rich and shit, he got his own store. I'm not. I'm far from it. One day, hopefully, but I'm definitely far from it.
Got you. Kind of like that normal question that every interview has. Mm-hmm. What's the most expensive sneaker in the store right now?
So right now, the most expensive sneaker is probably going to be our LeBron What the MVPs. Those are $2,500, I believe, right now. Actually, yeah. So no. So we have some Yeezy Solars. Those are $2,600 right now, and then the LeBron MVPs, they're $2,500. So the most expensive shoe I believe we've had in here, some Red Octobers for like $6,000.
What's one sneaker that you personally still want in your collection?
So
that you can't find or like it's hard to get?
Well, it's nowadays. I mean, it's not really hard to get, but it is pricey, so I would never like pay that price. But there's two shoes that I really, really want. One of them is the Nike SB Uncles, and the second one is Air Max 90 Warhawks. Now, I hear the Warhawks are set to re-release, and I'm happy as shit. So hopefully it's not just a rumor and it happens. I actually went as far as getting some customs made of Warhawks because I knew for a fact I could never afford them to, get them and shit. So, but again, when they if they re-release, knock on wood that they do, I'm trying to get those. But then the other shoe I want to get are Uncles. I got kind of like, not scammed, but just very disappointing when, like maybe a few months ago, actually last year now, thinking months ago, that when SB started getting all crazy, I found a pair on GOAT for only $400. And again, I'm like, oh my God, it's too good to be true. So I got it, bought it. A couple of days later, I get a notification from GOAT that the customer, the person selling it never shipped it. Of course they didn't. I think that was a mistake on their end of, selling them on GOAT for $400, whatever. Because at the time they were still going for like $1,000 plus. It was a pre-owned shoe, it was in great shape, but again, it was definitely undermarked, for the price. But I was so mad about that, you know. But you know, one day I'll get those 2 sneakers in my life.
The sneaker industry is an ever-changing and evolving marketplace that welcomes people of all shapes and sizes. With no sense of slowing down, the resale market alone sits at $2 billion, and by 2025 is projected to be at $6 billion. From humble beginnings and not much attention or importance in mainstream media, now sneakers are seen as the main attraction to many people's outfits. Everybody wants to be like Mike, everybody wants to be Travis Scott, everybody wants to be Beyonce or maybe even Kanye West. A lot of the hype and exclusivity comes from these major artists pushing these brands.
Invest in products. You'd rather not have money in your bank account, rather invest in something that's gonna grow in value. It's like having stock. Invest in inventory. This is what you sell for a living. Invest in it.
The script's done and I just want to speak off my mind for a little bit. Streetwear, fashion, and sneakers have been part of my life for the past 6 years heavily. And the connections and the bonds and the lessons that I've learned from this craft and the whole culture has taught me so many things that I feel like I haven't learned anywhere else, and I wouldn't give it up for the world. At the end of the day, I could say that I'm doing all this in this whole project in general because I just really fucking love sneakers.
Lastly, why do you do all this?
For the love, man. I just, like I said, the culture. Yes, I make $1 doing it, and that's definitely important for me and my family, but I honestly do it just for the love. I just love this culture. I love sneakers. I love fashion. It's always been about that, and it always will be about that.